So this video is really just going to be all about putting together the inside of the cabin. And if I can make one suggestion, make it your own. Don't let others, tell you what it should be like or shouldn't be like. Again, get everybody involved. And my kids have put stuff into there, my daughters, my wife has decided on a lot of it. And a lot of it was just utilitarian, what's going to work best for the space you have. And with the size of ours being as small as it is, we decided on a hide-a-bed for my wife and I, and the girls got their beds upstairs, and I'll make some comments on that. And, watch a lot of these videos, to do the floor, which is a little bit different, and I'll explain it a little bit later. I was watching a video from someone up in Norway, and they said that the way that I did it was really copying what they had done, and it's been more than warm enough. It gets below zero up where our cabin sits, and we've never had an issue with being cold. In fact, it's always been the opposite, that we've always been a little bit too warm. So I hope you enjoy this. Make your place your own. Just go out and do it yourself and figure it out as you go. Most everything within the cabin has been recycled from something that either we've had here at our regular house, and incidentally, I'm filming this from the front yard of our regular home here in the mountains. But we really had to buy very, very little to be able to finish the whole place off. So I hope you find this inspiring, and it's something that, you have some ideas, I guess, that you can use in your own place. And next time around, I think I'll try to put together something on our solar systems and show you exactly how I put that together and how many mistakes I made on that as well. But again, thanks for taking the time to sit through and watch what I've got to say and what we did. Here we are finally getting to work on the inside. The outside of the place is sheeted, and that gentleman is my young 84-year-old father. And at this point, we don't even have windows cut into the place, but we're about to. And so that was kind of our next step when we got to here, was to start putting windows in and sealing the place up, getting it all dried in. Well, we finally got the place dried in with windows, and it's time to start working in the layout of the bathroom. So here that is, and time to start sleeping over too, and adding our good friend get that honor of being the first people to sleep in. And they really enjoyed that first night. And I think this next little piece really sums it up. Be still. I think that's the purpose for a cabin myself. Upper windows are in. I think I've shown you a video of when we've done that before. And, this is where I'd wake up in the mornings. My father would sleep down here on the sofa at night, and I would sleep upstairs on a futon that laid out. And we're using a propane heater at this point to keep us from freezing to death. So I needed to wire the place for the solar electric, and there you can see one of the boxes going in. Put in the windows up front to finally finish that up, and that was quite some kind of chore there. But at this point now we can get a little bit more comfortable. Put up some LED lights for the girls to sleep upstairs, and up till now, it was just studs on the walls. So at this point, I put R15 insulation paperback into the walls and started covering it with 1/4-inch plywood that I thought looked really nice. And once all of that plywood was up, decided it was time to actually have some real heat. So cut a hole in the roof, and it's time to put in that Colorado cylinder stove to help just cook us completely out of the whole place. At the same time, I was also continuing to finish my electric and walls, and this is where my solar system is going to go and plug in to be able to run electricity through the whole house. And on another video, I'll talk about how I set that all up. Next, I put the shelf in by our big window so that we'd at least have a place to sit inside and eat breakfast and dinners. And it worked out really great. But we needed to start now on the floors, and the floors were unique because we had the 5/8-inch subfloor. Then I put high-density foam down, reflective side up, as the insulation on the inside of the cabin, and then 1/4-inch particle board on top of that to create a nice, soft and warm floor. On top of that, then, I put a layer of plastic sealant, and flooring started to get put in. And this is a vinyl flooring that snaps together and is waterproof. And when it was done, it ended up looking amazing, I think. At this point now, we can also get rid of the propane heater and fire up the stove. Playing with the bathroom layout was next, and this is how we decided to set up the water trough tub and Nature's Head composting toilet. At the same time, we were also working on our kitchen countertops, and this is the framing that's going to go into the countertops themselves. And the countertops were just 2x6s that I really cleaned up the edges, glued them together, and sanded them down, cut the edges off, and was able to screw to that framing that you had seen a little bit earlier. By the time it was done, we had a nice place to set some of our stoves and tools. And I also put in a light so we could start seeing at night. Another one went upstairs, and now you can see when you look down from above, my dad's pretty comfortable getting to sleep on that big old hide-a-bed. The girls are also getting their area made a lot nicer, and I'm putting window ledges on. Trim is growing around the whole place on the floor. And this was my original ladder that was just 2x4s nailed together. And it was pretty rough, and you get to see the finished one here again in a little while. But now we've got a little bit of rug down. Their beds are completely made up and nice, and you can see now a better view of that ledge and finishing work that I had started to do in here. They got their lights, but we're still no carpet up there, and we'll eventually get to that. Stove's working well. My dad is being comfortable and loves going there. Everything is really starting to come together, and it's starting to feel like a cabin. Well, here you can see now we've added the refrigerator, some batteries. I've got a little stove sitting there, and things are starting to get more comfortable. And this was actually getting close to Christmas, our first year. Put the carpet down upstairs for the girls, and there's my oldest daughter, Stella, enjoying a cup of coffee in front of a warm fire on Christmas back in 2000. Sitting right across from her, my three girls, or three more of my girls, my wife and there's Charlie on the left and Betsy on the right. After that Christmas, it was time to really get some finishing work done. And so at this point now, we started cutting in our sinks, and there you can see where the kitchen sink's going to go. We also cut in the stove into the countertop so it wouldn't be so obtrusive sticking out the way it was before. And everything is really starting to find its right place at this point. Well, now I've got the sealant on the countertops so water won't stain them, and everything is really starting to fall into place. I did put some temporary shelves up, and in the next picture you'll see that wasn't working, so I put those live edge shelves up to hold a lot more food and dishes and pots and pans, and I think that's a really good view of the wood that I milled and how I put up those shelves across the back. Bathroom needed shelving because you have to have places for towels, and having daughters, got to have room for lotions and all the good smelly stuff girls do. And now I'm starting to work on the plumbing, and I'll do a whole series on that and how the water works within the place as well. And again, here we are in the bathroom with the shower, and we really originally used just a portable shower that you dropped in a hot pot of water and turned the pump on and got cleaned up. Funny how things are always getting changed and moved around. And here we've got our nice area rug we brought in. Again, reused from an old house that we had. And one of the things we learned about living in the mountains or being up there is there are flies. So here's my daughter, Addie, taking care of the business with them. Putting the curtains underneath the countertops really helped clean up the kitchen and make it look a lot nicer with the shelving, and made our storage just a lot neater for us, and really, what good is a cabin if you can't share it with your loved ones? And this is my mom on her birthday. And every year I bring my mom out for her birthday, my dad out for his birthday, and we spend 3 or 4 days just babying them. Hi, Betsy. She's just enjoying it. And you can see now we've got a curtain covering up the electrical system in the place. And ceiling's getting covered with those coffee bags that we cut in half. And I think that's a really unique feature to the place. It's not quite done, but it's looking better every day. My windows were all trimmed out with 1x4s for a little extra depth, and then to make the edges look cleaner, I used quarter round all the way around the edges, and you can see now it's really cleaned up the windows and made them look a heck of a lot better. And this next little shot is just kind of an ode to Charlie. Found this just wonderful coffee from Black Rifle Coffee Company. In an attempt to make things nicer, I put up a shower curtain rod so the shower curtain slides a little bit easier. I've now put in the new ladder to go upstairs and lengthened the bar that it rolls on so the girls have better and easier access. Curtains went on, curtain rods went up, added little features like this little candle holder above the window, decorations on the wall just to honor my girl Charlie. Again, this is a shadow box my wife Susan put together for us with my dad's hammer, both of our gloves, holding each other, and some of the drawings that I had done when designing the place and building on every weekend. Just a good reminder of what we did. Well, the kitchen now is pretty much the way you see it in the last video I'll show, and I've got the final curtain up to cover the bottom storage. There's the deer rack that I put up, and I showed that in a few videos ago, and the trim around the bathroom doors that I showed a few videos ago, and our shower with its new shower curtain rod. And well, the ceiling's been finished and I filled in the empty spots, but also added this ceiling fan to try to keep the heat down so my girls don't burn out upstairs all the time. Bathroom's done. Shelves are full of towels and bathroom essentials. The bathroom really now is complete with a really nice shower, the nature head toilet with it getting vented out underneath the building, has no smell at all, and that really kind of wraps up all of the improvements that have been made over the last 3 years. Well, thanks for bearing with me as I put all those stills up in commentary, but I just wanted to walk you through the inside, really kind of show you what it's like in here now that we would be, I would say, mostly finished. And finishing on a cabin to me is kind of a big deal because it makes it your own. And even since I've shot my first video like this, I have, gonna go wide angle there for you, added a lot to it. So you come in the door and you look right, and some of the things that we did to make it a little more homies, we have a picture here with all of our friends or guests that come up and they sign it for us. My friend Ben was just in from Iowa this weekend, so he's been up here all weekend with me as well. Got a little place to hang your keys and little storage places here. The curtains was an addition I think you all saw, and little silly stuff like putting up my wife's fishing gear in the corner. And she has a shadow box from when we built the place, and in the shadow box is some of those drawings. And I don't know if I can get close enough. Those are some of the drawings that I had done when I was building this place every weekend. I love hurricane lights. Around the fireplace, I got that metal off of an old building and cut it down, and it sits off the wall far enough that you get a good vent and flow. Chair like this one to add some character. It's like Betsy. It's a Holstein cow. We'll look up there in a second. But again, a bigger ladder with a longer rail on it so the girls can get all the way to the middle of the loft with it. Saw me building the kitchen tables or counters, and they really are holding up well. It's a live edge shelf that I cut, and love doing that live edge stuff like that. These lanterns I use all winter long. They're kerosene lanterns, and you get or oil, I should say, so you don't have the smell that goes with it. That little figure right there, my daughter's carving that. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to end up being. Putting the curtains over the top of the shelves just makes it look a lot cleaner, and really all the curtains are, and this is kind of a mess under here, but that's why you have these pull back. It's where we keep our plates and things. But this is just a cable that has been drilled through here and pulled super tight so it holds the curtains really nice and smooth. And these are the ones that we access all the time. The other two curtains over here, I literally just stapled them to that. So propane tank is underneath this one. I've shown you all underneath here and how that's the brainchild with, or the brain center with the nice batteries and stuff. Here's a little something I made. I took the outer casing of a tree, wrapped ropes around it, and that's our garbage basket. Fits perfect for tall kitchen bags. Again, more live edge shelving. I cut that all myself, or milled it all myself, and sealed it with clear coat. Camp Chef stove. Cheap Walmart fridge, but I'll tell you, it's nice to have a fridge with a freezer. And you saw a few videos ago how I started hanging pans and utensils and things. Oh, you can see light working there, LED lights up there, another light working up here. That, incidentally, again, to make things your own, that was my wife's grandpa's clock. He made that. And so we try to, repurpose a lot of things that we have had. Stools here, repurposed. I mean, everything has come from somewhere else, so we don't waste. The floor, it's got a little bit of a bounce to it, and I explained how I built that. So again, more nice lights, running water. We've just run single cold water into our sinks, and the hot water heater that's stored underneath there is actually just connected to our shower. So we can have hot showers, and we kind of laugh that I've actually got it draining right now. But we laugh because cold water doesn't wash away viruses and crap like that. But you know what? It's just my family that's up here, and we're going to get it anyway. And there's no viruses in the woods. Sorry, there just aren't. The Nature's Head toilet is, again, something fantastic. It is actually vented. You can see right there's a vent. Goes underneath the building, and there's a small, very, very, very low amperage fan that runs all the time. There's no smell whatsoever from this. Towel rack. We'll call that storage. How about that? And then back out into the living room. I just rolled over the ladder that I built, and let's go on up. And we still haven't really done much with the flooring up here. You can still see the MDF that we used on the floors, but I had some leftover carpet. So for the girls from side to side, there's carpet underneath their beds, and then a rug that goes all the way across the front. For storage for them, we bought these ottomans, and they keep spare clothes up here all the time. And their beds they're considered twin extra longs because my daughters are tall, as am I. But the other things that we really like about up here is the girls got these little LED lights, and they run off of AAA batteries. Go about a year on 3 batteries, or AA batteries. So that's what they use for lighting up here. But they do have an actual light too if they want to use it. Plugins for their phones, fans to get some cool air in here when the stove downstairs is running. It gets pretty hot. We did try these on stands initially. They wouldn't fit. There just wasn't enough room for your heads over the top of that. So I think the loft turned out great and plenty of room up here. And looking down, kind of a cool view, I think. And finally, as you leave the place, coat rack behind the door with some nice hat hooks. And you come right out, there's the woodshed, and now having this covered is so darn nice. So I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch. And again, this is completely 100% off grid, but again, there's no reason you can't be comfortable and enjoy while you're there. So it looks awfully nice for something that's just for weekends and that was just built by me. But I want my family to enjoy it, and this is the way they enjoy things, is when it's nice, it's clean, it's safe, it's us. And everything we've done to it has made it that. Thanks for watching, and do it yourself.